Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent, and here are the top stories. US slashes work permit visas for non-citizens from 5 years to 18 months. 2 found dead with throat slit in separate Borno incident. Rivers State House of Assembly members defect to APC, and Sultan of Sokoto warns federal government against attempts to silence Omoyele Shore. Details now. Thank you for staying tuned. The World News at 12 begins with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services recasting its work permit system as part of a broader intelligence-driven approach to immigration monitoring, cutting the validity period for employment authorization from 5 years to 18 months. While the change affects thousands of non-citizens legally working in the United States, officials are presenting it not merely as a procedural shift, but as a recalibration of how frequently the government cross-checks immigration records against emerging security data. The agency argues that shorter validity periods will compel repeated background checks, allowing federal systems to capture new information on fraud risks, security alerts, or changes in an applicant's profile that may not have been visible years earlier. Director Joseph Edlow framed the move as a safeguard embedded within national security priorities. Under the new policy, all applicants from the affected countries must undergo a comprehensive vetting process. The administration has not specified how long the pause will last or whether additional nations could be added. In a tragic development back home in Nigeria, the Borno State Police Command has confirmed the deaths of 2 individuals found with their throats slit in separate incidents across the state capital. Police Public Relations Officer Nahum Daso, in a statement on Thursday, said the victims, a woman identified as Rifkatu Yohanna and a man later confirmed as Mohammed Ibrahim Sajay, were discovered hours apart under gruesome circumstances that have shocked residents. According to the statement, the first incident occurred early in the hours of December 3, 2025 in Shuwari 2. Rifkatu Yohanna was found in her room with a deep slit to the neck and multiple cuts across her body. Neighbors who discovered her alerted security operatives, and she was rushed to the State Specialist Hospital Maiduguri, where she was confirmed dead on arrival. However, her corpse has been deposited in the hospital mortuary for post-mortem examination. According to a spokesperson, a suspect has been arrested and is currently being held at the State Criminal Investigation Department as detectives continue interrogations. Hours later, another distressing discovery was reported at the GRA division by a resident from the Polo area. A green Honda Civic was found abandoned in a secluded part of Modari Polo. Meanwhile, inside the vehicle lay the lifeless body of a man with his throat slit in what authorities believe had been an undiscovered crime scene for more than 24 hours. An ATM card and card documents recovered at the scene identified the victim as Mohammed Ibrahim Sajay. Police officers cordoned off the area before evacuating the body to the State Specialist Hospital morgue for an autopsy. The police command disclosed that both incidents have now been transferred to the homicide section of the State Criminal Investigation Department for an in-depth investigation. The State Commissioner of Police, Naziru Abdul Majid, has also ordered heightened patrols and intelligence operations across Maiduguri and other parts of Borno State. He warned perpetrators of violent crimes to desist, stressing the command's determination to ensure that those responsible face the full weight of the law. In a recent development, the Martin Amewule-led faction of the Rivers State House of Assembly have announced their defection to the All Progressives Congress APC. The House of Assembly is currently in session, with the defectors blaming their departure from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) on the crisis in the party. Let's now take a very short listen to Martin Amewule, Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, speaking during the House plenary session today on how he's moving to the APC and defecting from the People's Democratic Party.
Thank you, sir. Distinguished colleagues, Very happily, let me announce to honorable members that your Speaker, Right Honorable Martin Chike Amevuli, has decided and has indeed written to my ward chairman. I've written to my ward chairman, Mr. Osondolu. There's the PDP ward chairman, Obiakpo Ward 1, of my decision to leave the People's Democratic Party. Distinguished colleagues, APC is my new party. I will do all that is needed to be done towards ensuring that the party card of the All Progressive Congress is issued to me in no time. But as I speak today, I am a member of the All Progressive Congress, and I'm happy to be a member of the APC so that we can join forces with Mr. President. Mr. President is doing so much for this country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu means well for Nigeria. He's tackling issues of security headlong. The president has shown love to Rivers State. Mr. President is helping Rivers people to be part of the governance of this country. So I'm so delighted to be part of the All Progressive Congress so that we can support Mr. President right inside the All Progressive Congress. But the major reason for leaving the PDP is because of the division in PDP. Thank you, distinguished colleagues.
Meanwhile, the Sultan of Sokoto and spiritual leader of Nigerian Muslims, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has publicly addressed activist and two-time presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore, praying that he might one day become the president of Nigeria. The unexpected remarks were delivered at an event organized by the National Peace Committee titled A Whole of Society Approach to the Prevention of Violence and Conflict in Northern Nigeria, which took place at the National Counter-Terrorism Center in Abuja. Archbishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, a prominent convener of the National Peace Committee, was also present. During his welcome address on the persistent challenges of insecurity in northern Nigeria, the Sultan directly addressed human rights activist Omoyele Sowore. The Sultan referred to him as President Sowore, specifically noting that he was using a small letter P. He then prayed that Sowore would eventually occupy Aso Rock Villa as Nigeria's president and invited him to respond with an amen. Video footage of the event shows Sowore responding to the Sultan's remarks with appreciative gestures. More significantly, the Sultan also used the opportunity to caution Nigerian authorities against attempting to silence critics and dissenting voices, a sentiment widely interpreted as a pointed reference to the political and legal pressures frequently faced by Sowore. The Sultan stressed that allowing dissenting voices to speak is healthier for society than repression. He noted that he had looked forward to hearing Sowore speak at the event, though the activist was not listed among the speakers and reportedly left after the first session. Let's now take a listen to the Sultan of Sokoto speaking at the event.
So I want to thank the ADC, and I urge you, don't look back. You have criticisms, you have critics, let them talk. But listen, those you bring close to you, like President Sowore, bring him close. When I say president, president with small p, not capital P. It's only President Tinubu has capital P. So President Sowore, come close, say your own mind. There's nothing wrong in you saying your mind. Because the more you allow somebody to bring out what is in chest, the better for you and him. The moment you turn down somebody and try him, and then you allow him to go haywire. I think it's very important. So when I was coming in, I met President Sowore there. I was very surprised to see him. But I'm also very happy to see him because we'll hear from him what are the issues that he thinks the government should do or must do for him to be a happier person. Because when he's happy, the people that follow him, that respect him, that believe in him, will also be happy. And that's life. But the more you tie somebody down, tie his neck, twist him, and he can't talk, you'll be saying, you don't know what he wants to say. But let him open his mouth and say what he wants to say. So, President Sowore, I invite you to feel free, come to me as you used to. We met a couple of times at the Peace Committee meetings when you were gunning for presidency. Maybe one day you'll be at this Aso Villa as president. You didn't say amen.
The Senate has raised the concerns over a rapidly escalated lead poisoning crisis in Ogijo, a heavily populated community bordering Ikorodu in Lagos and the Ogun East Senatorial District, describing it as a grave environmental and public health emergency threatening thousands of residents. The alarm followed the motion of urgent national importance jointly sponsored by Senators Mukail Adetokunbo Abiru, representing Lagos East, and Benga Daniel, representing Ogun East, brought pursuant to Orders 41 and 51 of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended. Lawmakers cited verified scientific investigations linking extreme lead contamination in the area to a cluster of used lead-acid battery recycling factories that had operated for years with minimal oversight. According to the motion, residents have been grappling with severe health complications, including persistent headaches, abdominal pain, memory loss, seizures, cognitive decline, and developmental delays in children, classic symptoms of long-term lead exposure. The Senate noted that the federal government had already begun enforcement actions, including the shutdown of 7 battery recycling factories by the Minister of State for Labor and Employment in Kiruka, Onyejocha, and the temporary suspension of lead ingot exports pending further safety investigations. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm now being joined by Dr. Peter Anosike for the news analysis segment. Good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you for joining us today.
Good afternoon, thank you for having me.
Are you surprised by the defection of 15 Rivers State House of Assembly lawmakers to the APC this morning?
Well,
everyone who's leaving the PDP has been saying it is due to the crisis in the party, but they all seem to be going to the APC. What is it about the APC that is so inviting?
Well, for me, I would say it's just their second missionary journey. They have gone their first missionary journey, so this is the second one. Already, they have been working with the APC right from time. But, again, going by the Supreme Court decision, because he said that he is working that to get his APC membership card. So, which means by the Supreme Court decision, he is not yet a member of APC until he gets his APC membership card. But citing crisis in PDP, it is germane, it is now real. When they defected the first time, they were not supposed to defect, because at that time, PDP has only one national chairman and only one NWC. But today, they have 2 national chairmen and two NWC, which shows crisis, which shows division. So it is now that somebody can boldly say, I'm quitting PDP because of crisis in the party, because of PDP, because of the division in the party, and it will work. So he has already been working with APC. His master, Nelson Wike, is working with APC. So to me, it's not a surprise.
You know, when they defected the first time and the case went all the way to the Supreme Court, the court held that there was no evidence that the 27 lawmakers then had defected. And you remember Governor Fubara withdrew his suit when he said these people have defected, they should no longer retain their seats. And then the president came and said, oh, let the status quo remain. He withdrew his suit, but they did not withdraw theirs. Now that it is established, he has said it with his mouth that he has defected. He is expecting the membership party, the membership card of the APC, right? Would you expect that part of the constitution will hold that says when a lawmaker defects, they lose their seat? Or is the case of Rivers State just so peculiar that whatever happens there does not follow the Nigerian constitution?
It's now obvious that there's a division in PDP, that there's crisis in PDP.
So they cannot lose their seats.
They cannot lose their seat. They cannot lose their seat.
Already, before now, they haven't been working very well with Governor Sim Fubara. Even just yesterday, we talked about how they've been putting fire under the governor's seat and saying that he's not taking care of education in the state. They were asking him what he was doing with the 600 300 billion naira that was left in the state coffers by the sole administrator when he left. They said since they returned from the emergency rule, they've not seen what he is doing. So even when they seem to be the same members of the same party, they were not working well together. How about now that they are going to the APC? Or are you expecting Governor Fubara to join the APC very soon as well?
That's unofficially Fubara is in APC, understand me? So we are just waiting for official confirmation for him to also declare that he has joined APC, and when he does that, it will not be a surprise to anybody, because that was one of the conditions. That was why he visited Tinubu in UK. That was why he and Nyesom Wike also went to UK to agree on conditions. And when all the conditions were agreed, it was Wike that announced that there's now peace in Rivers State, that the state of emergency will now end. So he had not attended any PDP meeting after that. So for me, unofficially, he is in APC.
You know, there were 27 members of the House of Assembly that defected then, and now just 15 are defecting again. What happens with the other 12? Does that mean that they are on the side of the governor? And even if these lawmakers and Governor Fubara end up in the same party, the APC, does it mean they will start working better? Or as long as these lawmakers are loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, they will never find anything good in what the governor does?
But the governor has acknowledged Nyesom Wike as his Alpha and Omega. So I wonder why this could be personal issues. This could be personal issues. So I wonder why, when they said that peace has returned to Rivers State, why all these things should be happening. I had expected that a seamless working condition that's between Amawende and Fubara.
But unfortunately, there hasn't been that seamless working condition. You know, yesterday they talked about how Wike directed that 10,000 people should be employed into the Rivers State workforce, and Governor Fubara pushed them out. That he does not want the peace and progress of the state. So with such a mindset, how can they work together?
Well, the issue is this. There's a saying that when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffer. So any crisis between Nyesom Wike and Fubara, it will stall development in Rivers State. It will stall progress in Rivers State. The other man has been compensated with ambassadorial position, IBAS, for
why do you see that as a compensation?
He conducted an election that gave River State to APC. Understand? Because in the local government election, it is APC candidates that won. So, according to Tinubu's dictionary, such people deserve to be rewarded. And he has been rewarded with ambassadorial position. Mind you, River State House of Assembly wanted an accountability of his 6 months in office, which he did not do. He never accounted for his 6 months in office, and they are rewarding him with another
he said
office.
He's only accountable to the president, and that the River State House of Assembly cannot summon him to give account of his stewardship.
Maybe he did that at Borno.
He gave the account
at Borno.
And that's why he did not want to come and give it again before the River State House of Assembly.
He has accounted to the person that appointed him.
Were you there when that happened? Although we did get reports then that he was summoned by the president, and also there were other officials there. I cannot recall. I think it was the EFCC and others, but they
no account was given. No account was given.
We did not get reports.
The man did not account for his 6 months in office
to the president. That's what I'm saying. That could have happened without your knowledge, without our knowledge. That could have happened, and the media was not allowed to know, to be present when that exchange was happening.
He did not rule Mr. President's farm. He governed a state owned by millions of people, and he should account for the people. He should account for the people. Assuming it is Tinubu's private business, then he should account for Boname Tinubu. But this is River State, taxpayers' money. So that's the issue here.
All right. Now, let's talk about some political analysts are saying with the way a lot of people, a lot of politicians are defecting to the APC, that the party could collapse under the weight of all of these defections. Do you see that happening?
They will go back.
They will still go back to their parties.
They will still go within the next 3 months. You see all of them rushing back to different political parties.
What makes you think that they will do that?
Well, most Nigerians don't have third eye. If they have third eye, understand, they will see that APC has reached their bus stop.
Okay, have they really? They seem to be gaining more ground every day.
That's why I say most Nigerians don't have third eye. If they have third eye, they will know that APC, the president, is in a very tight spot. APC, the president is in a very tight spot. Within 2-3 months, people will be rushing back to where they come from. Even those who have governors who have defected will be regretting why they defected to APC. People have eyes, but it's not every eye that sees.
So what exactly is it that is happening within the party, or that will happen within the party, that is informing this opinion that you have? Because it seems to be it's the strongest party in the country right now. That is the ruling party. That's the party where a lot of people are leaving their parties to join. Even governors have been leaving their party to join that same party, and which has been fueling fears of a one-party state. So what makes you think that, oh, very soon these people will be running back?
They will be running back, and the governors that have defected will regret why they defected.
Are you privy to some kind of information that we?
It is not everything. It's not just
within the APC.
Hold me accountable to this. By March, April, ask me this question.
March, April of 2026.
Please ask me this question. Those who decamped will be regretting why they decamped to APC.
And you would expect that the parties where they left will accept them back.
Political parties are like churches. Churches don't reject people. Have you seen any church that say no to a member? Churches don't reject people. Political parties don't reject people.
You know, some political analysts were expressing the fear, like I said, of a one-party state, and they're saying how it will happen is that they want to just create that semblance of, let it seem like there's an opposition. When most of the governors join the APC, you see most people coming and then they just say, oh, why not we just leave this multi-party system? It's not helping us. Let everybody be a part of the APC. And then, in fact, there was a time when NNPC chief Buba Galadima accused the president of not wanting to conduct an election in 2027.
Nigeria is too big for that. Understand? Nigeria is too big for not conducting an election.
Wasn't that what some people said about terrorism as well? That Nigeria is too big for that. They cannot take over the whole country. But we see them making inroads into different areas.
Nigeria is too regions. Big. The sentiments are deeper in Nigeria than any other thing. So Nigeria cannot have a one-party state. But as I'm telling you, those who defected to APC will regret why they defect to APC very, very soon.
All right, then. I mean, I'll look forward to seeing what happens that actually informed that opinion. Let's talk about the Sultan of Sokoto warning the federal government against attempt to silence Showore. He was telling the federal government to have to allow voices of critics. Is everybody cannot say what you like, everybody cannot say what you want them to say. And he even referred to the president as President Showore, even though he said, well, he's calling it a small p. What this seems to be telling us is not that he does not support President Bola Tinubu being in Aso Rock right now, but he hopes that sometime Showore will be the one in Aso Rock.
For me, the Sultan spoke like a wise man. He spoke like a wise, that's words of wisdom, because criticism doesn't mean enmity. Somebody who's criticizing you wants to help you. Understand? And there's silence is a very powerful force. When people are maintaining silence, don't neglect them. Don't treat them for fools. It's better you allow them to say something, then you know what's in their mind. So the Sultan was in the army. Understand? He's a knowledgeable man. It now depends on the presidency to practice what they were told, because people criticizing government are doing that because they want something good for the government. They want something good for the people. If you are not criticized, you feel that all is well. You feel that all is well. Why those around you, what they are giving you is false information, fake information, that the people are happy, the country are happy. So it is the critics that bring out the ills or the wrongs in the country. You don't have to silence them. You don't have to silence them. It's just like in a country where court does not exist. If there's no court to take your issues to, you have to take the law into your own hands. And that will be a state of anarchy in that country. And that's what critics do. But these people, this government, they operate like when King Ahab was ruling Israel. Understand? He doesn't want to hear from anybody. He just wants to hear what he wants to hear. Understand? Which is very, very wrong. So, and like what Sultan said, freedom of speech is in the Constitution. Freedom of speech is in the Constitution. It is your right to criticize any government, and that you are criticizing the government does not make you an enemy of the state. You are helping the state. So what Sowore is doing, criticizing what is not good in the government, is what he should do as a responsible citizen.
But the part where he says he regards him as a president, do you think this means that if Sowore presents as a presidential candidate in 2027, he will have the support of the Sultan, and maybe have the Sultan tell his people to vote for Sowore?
I cannot say that. I cannot say that. Because
he did say he would like to see him in Aso Rock one day.
He says so. He says so. But at times people do make political statements.
So you don't count that as a support for Sowore's political ambition?
No, for me, I appreciate him for knowing that what Sowore is doing is not wrong. Understand? I appreciate him for understanding that what Sowore is doing is not wrong, because it is our right to speak out. It is our right to speak out, and speaking out includes criticizing what the government is doing that is not right.
All right. There is a new development where the NLC has threatened a nationwide protest due to insecurity in the country. That is the chairman, the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, that's Joe Ajaero, has said they will no longer sit by, the president rather. They said they will no longer sit by and watch helplessly as criminal gangs unleash terror across the country. He's saying that President Tinubu needs to sit up. Nigeria is under siege. He's lamenting the latest school kidnappings. He said the NLC wants to declare a national day of mourning so that all Nigerians can sit down and cry for the country and cry on President Tinubu's neck, so that he would actually make a proactive move. Not just that, he has also announced that the NLC's representatives have withdrawn from the Labour Party, saying the Labour Party is not representing them well. They are there for their personal interests.
Well, for me, Nigeria is under siege. Every day, when you look at the newspapers, when you listen to the radio, when you watch television, what you see is kidnapping, terrorism, and so on and so forth. So there's Thomas Hobbes, or they find a concept of state, which is still a space where life is brutish and short. That's what we are having in the country. Imagine that news from Borno state, where people say, so this is a new dimension. I've not heard this before. So maybe they are not introducing that a new way of killing people like animals. So Nigeria is under siege. And that's why reasonable people are calling for foreign collaboration, foreign help, because this government has become helpless. They have no answer to the insecurity currently affecting us. So we need a collaboration from other countries to solve this problem. There's nothing. It's not a shame to say I need help. So Nigeria needs help because the Tinubu government has failed woefully in tackling insecurity.
That collaboration, actually, we've seen where the US says they'll be helping Nigeria with intelligence and also with defense equipment. Do you see that working? We got reports that the US aircraft was seen flying over the Borno airspace.
If it's true, it is surveillance. If it's true, it is surveillance, and it has to be through agreement with our own government, because they cannot violate our airspace. So if that is true, it must be in agreement with our federal
but
government.
A national day of mourning, though, would that push the president's hand?
When you don't have capacity, there's nothing you can do.
So even if Nigerians cry from today till tomorrow?
Fast from now till next year, this presidency has no capacity to fight insecurity.
But the fact that the NLC is talking about this is trying to make Nigerians aware of what they can do to bring awareness to the situation, to let the federal government know that they know what is happening and they want the status quo to change.
No, it's just to kind of put government that's on their toes. Don't be comfortable, don't relax. The country is not in a good state. You have to wake up. Just like Donald Trump tweet has woke them up. They should do more. They should do more because they don't have answers to this thing that is currently happening in the country.
What's your thoughts on the NLC's representative withdrawing from the Labour Party, saying that the Labour Party is not representing NLC well and they're representing just themselves, representing their own pockets, knowing that at one point the NLC was fighting that it owns the Labour Party?
The issue is this: the current LP. I don't even know who is in charge. Whether it's Abure or Nenadi Osman. So what is happening is not the vision of why other party was formed. It is a party for the people, a party for the workers. In UK, Labour Party rules the country because it is organized for the people. That's the workers' party. But here, it is being run like a APC PDP, which is not what it's supposed to be. This is a party that's supposed to be to take care of the welfare of the workers. But they are now seen it as an instrument for self-enrichment. So they have every right to withdraw their members.
Doesn't that mean that they shouldn't have been fighting for ownership of the party in the first place?
No, when you try that to save something or save somebody, and the person continues to misbehave, you disown that person. And so for me, there's absolutely nothing wrong there.
The new defense minister has been sworn in. He has started work immediately, and he's saying the Nigerians will soon see results. Political analysts have been saying he's well renowned for not being an advocate of the non-kinetic approach, that he's the type to say, let's go in and destroy these people. Do you think he's a very good choice for defense minister, seeing as he was removed as CDS just in October, and seeing the kind of approach that he has? Do you actually see him being able to phase out insecurity, at least to a large extent, knowing that right now where he's at is more of a political appointment?
Well, he has more power as a CDS. That's what Nigerians don't know.
More power as a chief of defense staff, not as a minister of defense.
He has far more power as a CDS.
So
understand?
Any success that could not be made then cannot be made now?
He has not gone to any school for the last 1 month. He has not read any book for the last 1 month. So where would the ideas come? Understand? That you drop khaki and wear abada does not make you a changed person. You change from the inside, not from the outside. Understand me? You change from the inside, not from the outside. So for me, he is still that person that was dropped a month ago.
All right. For the people who will not really understand, what is that great difference from him being the chief of defense staff and the minister of defense?
You are a military.
As a chief of defense staff?
Yes, you are a service chief. Understand? But for this one, you are a politician. Understand? You are a politician, and people and the people. And you are to be given, if there's any information, if there's any usefulness, if there's any intelligence you have to give it to the service chiefs. Do you understand me? If there's any intelligence that you have to give it to the service chiefs. They are those that commands troops. Do you understand it? As a civilian, you don't command any troop. It is the service chiefs that command troops. So this is the difference.
So he has literally been stripped of any powers that he has now to say stand up and go.
He cannot do that because he is a retired serviceman. Understand me? So if there's any intelligence he has to give it to the service chiefs. He is now a politician. He is now a politician. He doesn't have any capacity to command any soldier.
So this war against insecurity, where is it taking us then?
We need help.
And the earlier we accept it, the better.
The earlier we accept the responsibility that this thing has gone beyond us, the better.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Peter Anoske, for joining me on the World News at 12 this afternoon. It's time for us to go. I do appreciate your presence.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. You have been listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that the United States has slashed work permit visas for non-citizens from 5 years to 18 months. 2 found dead with throats slit in separate incident in Borno State. River State House of Assembly members defect to APC, and Sultan of Sokoto warns federal government against attempt to silence Omoyele Shore. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. The matters will come up by 1:30 p.m.